Ready to rock, Rocks? Hi everyone, welcome back to Bobby's Bucks, and today I'm going to go over scouting and shed hunting.
Freedom.
It's a good feeling to let her run, huh?
Yes, she loves
It's well into April, and the woods have already started to green up. We're already starting to see those buds going on right now. Everybody's so cooped up. We did a lot of late season hiking and scouting, and I admit I didn't do a lot of shed hunting this year, and that's probably why I only found one shed. You know, I stick to a lot of areas that I've had success in the past, but I always try to walk all these bedding areas, main brushy trails where you think a buck might be running, also the main intersection trails, maybe bedding areas on the edge of a field. I found my best shed under a pine tree on the edge of a field. I just could not believe it was such a nice 5-point antler. I did shoot a good buck about 100 yards from that. See, that's what I'm talking about. I think I see another one. I don't know if you can see that. I mean, that looks just like an antler. I'm gonna walk over to it, but probably gonna have my heart broken again. It's a stick. So right after January, I am so excited to go into certain areas where I seen deer, or I seen a good buck run into, and I mean I write it down. I keep notes into my laptop and my phone and everything. So January, February, I am scouting, and really February into March, I start shed hunting, only because you got to beat the animals. The animals will chew up antlers. You'll find antlers that are chewed up, or you'll find Race just spotted this carcass. Looks like a deer. Well, it looks like a doe. Yeah, definitely a deer. There's the hoof.
crazy.
Maybe a lost deer. Told her to get a longer stick, but she didn't want to take any time. And look what just happened.
Yeah.
You just have to beat other hunters, because a lot of people love to find antlers. It's like a whole nother passion. I mean, some of those big ones are even worth money. Not that I would ever sell mine, but a lot of people want to make decorations. They are excited to find a certain buck's shed. They're hunting this deer and they want to find those sheds. But let's talk about. So we've talked about when. Pretty much March, April. At April, I'm pretty much on to splitting wood. We heat our home with wood, so you have to wait for the. Oh, they made another trail. Would you look at that? Thank goodness. I'm so glad. One of our neighbors, she likes to walk her dog right at dusk every night, and we've talked to them before. It's like we have deer in the field, and they like to walk the property line, and then they just blow the whole field. And sometimes she remembers, sometimes she doesn't. So I'm really glad. It looks like they're going to be coming out this way, and which is really cool. So I wait until February to start shed hunting, because you got to wait for the big deer will usually drop their antlers first, but the younger deer will drop their antlers well into February, sometimes all the way until March. But February, I start looking. January, February, I want to go scouting right away, because all that stuff is fresh in my mind. I want to get in there and take notes and make plans for next year. And this is the best time to do it, because everything is just so matted down, and you can see, through the entire woods, and plus the sign is so, you can see, especially when there's snow on the ground, you can just find new trails, and it's almost like you can make a map of all the deer travel. It's just all laid out for you. Okay, so where do I find my antlers? My number one absolutely favorite spot is bedding areas. I'll go right into the bedding areas and I'll try to find antlers, and I usually do. That's like the best spot for me anyway. One of my favorite spots, somebody's got their stand up there. See it right there. We're still looking. Nothing yet though. You don't find them all the time, but But a lot of the time, most of the time, I find them in bedding areas, or creeks, or like crossings, intersections, fences where you know they're crossing, jumping over the fence. Anytime where they're going to jerk their antlers, ponds. I've heard about people dragging their ponds and finding just tons of antlers in there. Down in creeks, deep creek beds, where you know they're crossing, they're jumping down, they're taking a drink. Main trails. Just walk the main deer trails, big intersections, those really brushy travel where you know a buck would want to stay out of sight. Maybe some of those more less traveled. I got my big stick. And that is how you do that. I'm gonna leave this here for next time. So most people, when they see that, they would stop right here. But just know, if you cross this obstacle, the deer hunting will get better. It just seems like the older I get, the less time I have, the more stuff I'm into, and I'm not complaining, it's just the way it is. And sometimes that's actually a benefit when it comes to hunting and not over pressuring a property. But so this was just a main trail. Let me see if I can get this on video. So this is just a main trail. I doubt you can see that, but it was one of those situations where you can't even, I hope this is a shed. Oh, that would suck. You know what, chances are, let's go up and, because the chances are it's not. So this is just a trail that I was walking along and I see that all it is barely, it's barely in there. Yes. Got one. Feel, what a relief. This was just on a main trail that I know I could see that they take, and I'm just walking all these different trails. And over the years, I tend to go back to the same areas that I find sheds every year. And you know, sometimes they're there, sometimes. But stick to your bedding areas. Stick to your main, you know, trails. Stick to those side trails that you think a buck is probably taking. One of those, you know, less traveled but more brushed in areas that offer more security. You know, where spots where they're jumping, spots where they have to get down into a creek and jump up. Check those creeks and look in the water and see if you see any antlers. Bedding areas are by far the best, and I you know, all the times when I'm just running, I don't know if that's going to come up on camera, but there's just a big heavy trail right here, and that was where I found it, just laying right here. And yep, and I bet he's going to be a good one next year. Hopefully so. So I hope everybody enjoyed the video. That's just a little bit on when and how I shed hunt. And you know, it's also scouting too. I'm scouting early and then I shed hunt right after. So be sure to thumbs up if you like the video and subscribe for more videos. Click that bell so you know when our new videos are coming out. And thank you for watching, and we'll see you on the next video. Like a bird on a tree, I'm just sitting here. I got time.